I had an idea of buying a home in the next 10 years, another thing I would do is I would create an emergency fund. Emergency funds are for emergencies. They're not necessarily for the mortgage, but starting this emergency fund is essential for life. Okay. And we're going to go through all the reasons why. I'm Jared Halbert. I'm a local mortgage broker here in Queen Creek, Arizona. I service all of Arizona, and actually, I just got licensed in Utah. Now, having that emergency fund isn't going to hurt you with qualifying. It could help you, right? Having the extra cash available. Lenders like that. They like to see extra reserves, extra cash. Okay, there's less stress or less risk, I should say, for these lenders to lend the money because they see excess money in the account. So emergency fund, how much money we put in this account? What type of emergency fund? And I would say if you can even get to it, I know it's a lot, but if you had a 1-year emergency fund, you're more than set. Having that 1-year emergency fund is awesome. And what I mean by 1-year emergency fund is the way I like to look at it is you look at your net income, not your gross income, but your net. Is that possible for everybody? No, obviously everybody's in a different situation, different financial situation. Having that much is comforting. So let's just say, Jared, I can never save that much money. Okay, well then let's just start with a month. Start with that. Okay. And whatever that might take. Let's just say you put a plan to put together. Hey, in the next 2 years, 3 years, I'm going to have $7,000 saved up sitting in this account. I think that's a lot more manageable. And if we do that, that way, when you get a house, or even if you are a current homeowner, you have that slush money. That's money in case life happens. What do I mean? Life happens. Air conditioners. We live in Arizona. It's hot. We're running air conditioners like crazy. I mean, I don't know if my air conditioner ever stops running in my house. Like, it's just like constantly running, right? Because it's hot and we like it nice inside. Those go out and those are expensive. My little brother, he works in the air conditioning business. Like, I know how expensive it is, and he gives me a deal all the time. It's pricey. And so we need to make sure there's money set aside for something like that, or a medical emergency, right? Something happens. Hopefully it never does. Knock on wood, it never does. But if something does happen, our deductible, can we hit the deductible with what we have in the bank right now? Because we have to take care of this medical emergency. Obviously, our health comes number one. That's our number one focus. And our family and taking care of them. That's another line item of things that could happen. Cars break. Again, it's hot outside. We trash our cars here in Arizona. We're running them in 110, 115 degrees. These soccer moms are running them all day long, taking kids here, there, everywhere. My wife's constantly in the car. I'm always like, how did you drive so many miles this year? And then I realized, she just lives in this thing. And that's also why it smells the way it does and looks the way it does, because these kids are just like living in this. The other thing with cars is tires, right? Tires go out, especially when it gets hot. If you pay attention, when it gets hot, there's more people on the side of the road with car problems and tire problems. And I've talked to mechanics. I have mechanic friends, and they'll tell you, yeah, summers are busy time because things break. Another thing that can happen quickly is the water heater. Water heaters are like a ticking time bomb. You don't know when they're going to give up, right? Water heaters, refrigerators, any big appliance, freezer, box freezer, like they could give up at any moment. And yes, there's repair people we can call, but man, we got to have that cash, cash ready, pay for it. And then after we pay for it, build that emergency fund back up. A common mistake I see is people putting too much money into their mortgage or to their house. And I think they call that house poor. And I've have a lot of clients who have no problem doing that. And I have some that say, I'll never be house poor. I'd rather be very comfortable with my payment. So when you call, we'll talk about that. Hey, let's see what payment you're comfortable with, because to some people, being house poor is okay. To other people, no, I need excess money for whatever. I had a client the other day, we just closed on his home. He wanted to, I kept looking at his finances. I'm like, dude, you qualify for a lot more house than this. But his whole mindset was, yeah, but my wife is going to stop working in the next year or two when we decide to have children. And I want to make sure that I can afford the payment based off of my income only, even though at that time, two different incomes, they're making a lot of money. But his mindset was the future, which is smart, so smart. And so he was looking at, okay, but when my wife quits working, when we have babies and she's going to be at home with them, I want to know that we're not going to be house poor. So that's the whole reason you can call me. Hey, what do I qualify for? Okay, the bank says I qualify for that much, but reality, looking at my month-to-month payments, I only want $3,000 monthly payments. So what house can I buy at that price range based on this much down payment, based off today's rates? A lot of little variables, but I can look at that, run those numbers for you. That way you know exactly what you're getting into as you start looking at homes. How are we going to save that money? Okay, that's where it comes down to lifestyle. We can make choices. Do we need Taco Bell every week? Yes, we do. But do we need it 3 times a week? Probably not. Once a week's good. 3 times, that's excessive. So that's cutting back. I have a family. We've got 5 kids. If we go to Taco Bell, actually, I shouldn't say Taco Bell. I barely go to Taco Bell, but it's probably going to cost us $60, $80. Okay, it's not cheap. Anytime I take my kids out to eat, Chick-fil-A, In-N-Out, whatever, it's a lot of, it's, 60 to 80, $90. There's been times when we're out of town, we're spending, we're eating out a lot. We're spending over $100 every single meal. I mean, that's a lot of money. A lot of money. And quick little note, if you do want to save money, cut out the drinks. Like my kids get the drinks and you look at the receipt and it's like $3, $4 each drink. It's like, this is I can go to Circle K for 79 cents and get the same and get more pop. So cut out the drinks. The drinks are such a ripoff. Lately, I've been asking them to just share. Here's another way to save money. Another way, cut back. Don't buy as much food. Like I'll go get these kids some meals and they eat half of it and the other half's just sitting on their plate, every single one of them. I'm like, guys, we could have fed like a whole nother family. And so at the end of our vacation we just recently did, towards the end, I was finally like, okay, everybody's sharing. Pick a partner and share. This is how big families get by. I'm like, pick a partner and share, because I'm tired of wasting all this food and having the restaurant throw it away. I mean, it's such a waste. Half the time they order the same thing, chicken nuggets. Like 4 of them are ordering chicken nuggets. Like, yeah, we could share those chicken tenders. You know what I mean? Maybe get some extra dipping sauce. Anyways, ways to cut back. And again, I'm talking to myself here. Not buying as much food. Okay. Start small. Again, don't go big. $20 a week, $50 a week, whatever it is, just start and start to save a little bit. If you're less likely to spend the cash, do it as cash. Keep it in your safe. Or if it's easy enough for you to put it into an account that's hard to transfer out of, that's another thing some of my clients do. They put it in special accounts, different checking accounts that are more online and harder to get a hold of the money. Not that you can't access it, but it's harder to get a hold of or to transfer back. That's the account you want to find, okay? And now you're saving instead of, oh, it's in the account. We have an extra $400 in the account. Well, you know what? Like yesterday for me, Jersey Mike's sounds good, doesn't it? And so that'll keep you from doing something like that. I'm not a financial planner by any means. The whole point behind it is when you go to buy a house, or if you currently own a home, having that less stress, because knowing that the extra money is there in case something happens, or especially when you buy a new home, we know nothing about this home. We haven't even been in it for a year. Something can happen. Having that extra cash takes a lot less stress off of your mind and a lot more ease. It also creates the ability for you to focus on more important things in life than focusing on how am I going to pay my next bill. And when you get to that point of how you're going to pay your next bill, it sucks. I've been there. And it's not fun. It's not fun. So my recommendation, again, take it for what it's worth as a mortgage broker here in Queen Creek, is save up. Do everything you can to save. A little bit here, a little bit there, and every little bit helps. So if you need more tips, or if you have a tip, leave it in the comment section below because I will take a tip. My name is Jared Halbert with Brick Mortgage. I'm here for you when it's time to buy. Thanks.
I can send it up, I can send it up. Check, we broadcasting. Ain't nobody ask, we splashing. Beats that had boom, now we moving massive. Breaking you down in the bass, spitting acid. I'm back in my zone, the top gun of the Maverick. Like